When we last checked in with Jamal Cox, he had just been released from the Angola State Prison after a series of stories by investigator Mike-Perlstein. They revealed that Cox's life sentence was not valid under the state's multiple offender law. After several years of appeals, Cox prevailed. But his homecoming in March 2020 came in with mixed emotions. He gained his freedom right when the pandemic led to a near total lockdown. So tonight, Mike catches up with Jamal to show how he dealt with the subdued homecoming and emerged victorious once again.
Oh, thank you so much.
From the courthouse to the front gates of Angola Prison to his mother's house in Slidell, there was nothing but hugs and tears of joy as Jamal Cox came home after being freed from a life sentence.
There was never a doubt in my mind. I just didn't know how long it would take.
When we first heard about Cox's plight in 2017, he was serving a life sentence under Louisiana's 3 strikes you're out repeat offender laws, even though none of his relatively minor convictions involved violence or drugs. He got probation for the first 2, a burglary when he was 18 and illegal use of a firearm 10 years later. But with the 3rd conviction,
And he said they gave him life. Life!
an appeals attorney ultimately discovered that Cox's 3rd conviction, aggravated flight for a 6-second chase on a dirt bike, should have been punishable by a maximum of 4 years. Instead, he served 10 years of his life sentence before the mistake was corrected.
I believe that God would do a good thing for a good person.
His release came in March of 2020. Literally 2 days after he was freed from prison, the rest of the world began locking itself away at home as the COVID-19 pandemic turned everything upside down.
Because usually when you're out of circulation, that's the first thing you want to do is, get with family, do stuff, and, we weren't able to do that.
Cox's long-awaited homecoming party with family and friends was postponed indefinitely. Opportunities to quickly find a job were closed off.
He was going to be coming home, but I didn't expect that, like, said earlier, that we was going to run into a pandemic and you wasn't going to be able to do a lot of the things that you dreamed of doing.
But just as he did in Angola, where he became a master furniture maker and tutor for other inmates, Cox was determined to make the most of a challenging situation.
And I knew I loved to drive trucks, so I went back to driving trucks immediately as soon as I possibly could.
Before he was locked up, Cox obtained a CDL, a commercial driver's license, with ambitions to own his own big rig truck. His brushes with the law interrupted that plan, but when he got out of prison, the pandemic helped revive it. Trucking was the one job he could jump into and stay safe.
If not the first day, the second day, he was working on getting his license. He was on the phone calling different people, finding out what he needed to do.
Within a few months, Cox, now 44, reinstated his license and hit the road. Before long, he was driving 18-wheelers as far as New York, Michigan, and Oklahoma, easing the pandemic supply chain backlog and staying safely isolated at the same time.
I believe it helped me mentally, to be able to get on that road and go those long stints, with really nobody there.
Once the 4th wave of COVID passed, Cox's family decided to reschedule his long-postponed homecoming celebration. Now, it was just a matter of catching Cox when he wasn't on the road, a window that opened up just recently.
This gathering is it was a long time coming, but it's okay. It's okay. God did the best thing when he opened the prison doors.
At his mom's house, Cox was celebrated by family and friends he hadn't seen in years. They not only celebrated his freedom, but his success as a long-distance trucker.
Opportunity to show the world and to show other people that everybody locked up is not bad.
St. Tammany District Attorney Warren Montgomery, who personally reviewed Cox's case when Channel 4 brought it to his attention, was among those to offer congratulations.
I'm glad we had a legal avenue that we could give him another chance, and of course he's taken advantage of the chance, and that's what's fantastic about this.
Cox's childhood friend Aisha Smith, who lobbied for his appeal from the start, was always confident he would succeed.
I knew that he would make good on another chance. I knew that he would. I didn't doubt it for a second.
When I began researching Jamal Cox's story more than 4 years ago, a happy ending seemed like a legal long shot. But in the end, justice prevailed.
And I'm so grateful that you agreed to take the story on, you know, and work with us because, you know, he's worth saving. That's my son, I know, but I know who he is.
And for Jamal Cox, working to stay on the right road, even 1,000 miles away from home, has never been sweeter. Mike Perlstein, Eyewitness News.
Well, with truck drivers in high demand, Jamal says that he will still be on the road over Christmas, but he plans to be home to celebrate with his family for New Year's.